It may be all the small things, and with true care, truth brings a story of monsters and aliens. So I'll take one lift. It's your ride, but is it the best trip? Blink 182's Tom DeLonge makes his directorial debut with a sci fi adventure called Monsters of California. We know the guy can rock, but can he direct? After discovering research left behind by a missing government agent, Dallas Edwards and his misfit high school friends embark on a righteous and dangerous adventure to uncover a paranormal conspiracy in Southern California that brings them face to face with some of the government's most guarded mysteries. So far the special effects are about what I expected. There's a cheesiness to them that doesn't scream big budget, but they worked for the production. There's some practical effects and makeup that are fun too. So I think if you keep expectations in check for what this delivers in terms of visuals, they're going to work for the story. Now the score alternates between calming, contemplative synth and excited, energetic pop punk, and definitely one of the standout elements of this movie, which I kind of expected, given it's made by a rock star. The acting in this, though, it's a little stiff and uncertain. Like, the actors are hesitant with their deliveries, but funny enough, sometimes this actually works to the story's advantage, creating empathetic moments with the characters that then cause them to feel more human and unscripted. Now, we have four central characters, and they're charismatic and amusing. Now, one is clearly designed to be the fool, just fully embracing the stoner vibe of his persona. His name is Toe, and he's mostly funny, but his juvenile humor does run the risk of becoming annoying. And none of the kids look like they're actually in high school. I struggle to believe any bit of that. Now, Jack Sampson, who plays Dallas, the main character, he's earnest and very likable. He's got a shy smile and this laid-back delivery, and he looks like a mild version of Milo Ventimiglia. Now, he definitely carries the story, and I think he's endearing, despite the shortcomings that are created just by poor scripting moments and then questionable direction. Now, at one point, there's an antagonistic segment between Dallas and his mom. And while I understand what it's trying to accomplish and illustrate, the scene is just awkwardly inserted, and it doesn't feel earned at all. Like the writing is attempting to add in additional dramatic arcs, maybe even addressing personal issues of the writers. But it just all feels forced and very ill-placed. Dallas blows up and accuses his mom of behaviors that we've never seen exhibited, making the tantrum just first makes no sense at all, but then to create story confusion as to why it was even included. Now, Casper Van Dien is wasted in this. I mean, not like he's wasted drunk, but he has a very minor role. And it would have been great to really just exploit his cult draw and have him as an alien killer hero. I mean, here, he gets to be intense, but his character comes across as simply just a generic soldier with a chip on his shoulder. Richard Kind has a prominent role within the story, and his offbeat humor and sarcastic delivery, they're usually a welcome addition to films. Unfortunately, though, for this character, the humor is written in such a way that it's lackluster and then tragically unfunny. It's a bummer, too, because his interactions with the stoner character, they had the potential for a lot of fun laughs. A feature of the storytelling involves voiceovers from Dallas, and while I appreciate that it's used several times as a device to inform the audience and it doesn't come across as a gimmick, each time, though, feels like it doesn't totally belong. The vibe that comes from this dialogue, it's that of a flashback, like the character is reminiscing on the past and then retelling it to us. I like the idea, I'm just not a massive fan of the execution as it sits within the story. Now, this committed a cardinal sin by showing us at the very beginning what could be and then failing to deliver. When there are monsters, specters, ghouls, and ghosts, the movie's energetic, silly, and way more fun than it should be. When there aren't, the exposition just grinds the pace to a halt with sophomoric jokes and excessive explanations. And there's way more tell than show, and even though some of the dialogue is insightful and it's engaging, it ends up hindering the momentum, which then lessens the fun. Probably the worst portion of this story is that it doesn't even live up to the title. I mean, we're promised monsters of California. We barely get any. And what we do get is a vague conspiracy theory of government cover-ups of all things otherworldly or cryptid. I mean, seriously, there are only 2 segments of supposed monsters in all of the hour and 49 minutes. I mean, not only is it disappointing, but I feel like it's false advertising. The beginning of the film starts off hilariously with just all kinds of antics and goofiness, and that's what I was hoping for. And then it doesn't deliver it. This is in dire need of a script edit. to trim the fat and then work to tell a more efficient story that spends less time with characters standing around just attempting to make jokes and focuses more on crafting captivating moments that progress the narrative forward. I mean, the film as a whole, it would be tons more enjoyable. There are also several family scenes that are completely unnecessary for the plot, and they only work to add time. Not only in the angry interaction between Dallas and his mom that I had mentioned before, but in a few subsequent scenes too. It felt like some of these people were DeLonge's friends and were included as favors, but their inclusion is detrimental in the long run and doesn't do the movie any favors. Now, the blocking and character direction, they're severely lacking. Many times the actors just awkwardly stand and then search for the place that they're supposed to move to, creating stuttered steps and unsure looks, where the characters, they look a bit bewildered and then confused as if they're in the right spot or not. I know what this story is trying to tell. It's an adventure full of wonder and new experiences, mixed with monsters and then aliens. And some elements for this, they're certainly present, but the movie is bogged down by way too many conflicting arcs that are snippets of ideas pieced together with a general overall direction in mind, rather than delivering a tight and cohesive tale that's memorable and inviting. So overall, Monsters of California has a promising idea at its heart, but it loses the plot and strays from what its title promises, tumbling into conspiracy theory retreads that don't lead to any truth or fun out there. As expected, the score complements the movie, making it one of the strongest pieces within the film. And while the characters can be endearing at times, the script is overly filled with scenes that lead nowhere, feel shoehorned in, or generally just add unsatisfying time. This isn't a dreadful first feature-length entry for DeLonge, but he's got a ways to go in terms of directing a memorable story that flows efficiently. There's no sex, maybe some tiny bit of nudity, some profanity, and just a little bit of violence. I give Monsters of California 2.5 out of 5 couches. So what's a lower budget monster movie that you enjoy? Now for me, and it's mainly out of nostalgia, but I loved Monster Squad back in the day. Wolfman's got nards. Well, I'm sure it doesn't hold up now, but let me know some of your favorites in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.